Welcome to Mintel's Little Conversation. Real conversations with actionable insights into what consumers want and why. I'm your host, Andrew Davidson, based in New York. One company that has been part of the Buy Now, Pay Later story from the beginning is Zip. Listed on the ASX, the Australian Securities Exchange, Zip operates in Australia, New Zealand and the US, offering point-of-sale credit and digital payment services. Founded in Australia in 2013, Zip provides, and I'm quoting here, fair, flexible and transparent payment options, helping customers to take control of their financial future and helping merchants to grow their businesses. Here to talk all about it, I'm delighted to welcome to the pod Zip's US Chief Marketing Officer, Jinal Shah. Jinal has been with Zip since 2021 and has an impressive background, having previously led marketing for top brands, including Feather and Swell. Jinal, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much, Andrew. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you. Where are you joining from today?
New York City.
Excellent. Well, and how would you describe your role and responsibilities?
Succinctly, my role is to grow the business and grow the next generation of leaders. Now, how I drive this growth of the business is, via my leadership across multiple areas of our customer function: brand, product marketing, acquisition, customer engagement, creative product design, MarTech, and even customer experience. So that's how I view my role.
So it's a broad remit. So there was speculation, some time back that Buy Now, Pay Later was a bit of a fad. Now 1 in 5 consumers say they plan to use it in 2024. It jumps to 1 in 3 for millennials. What would you say is the current state of the Buy Now, Pay Later sector? And if Buy Now, Pay Later was a book, what chapter would we be in?
Paying in installments is a relatively new behavior, but one that has seen accelerated adoption in the last few years. I think sometimes it's easy to forget that this category in the US is only 6, maybe 7 years old. We, Zip, are only 5 years old in the US. The book is not about paying in installments or Buy Now, Pay Later. It really is about the next revolution in payments. And from my vantage point, we are just at chapter 1 in this book. This paying in installments behavior in the US, it's expected to grow to $143 billion in 2026. And for context, it was at $77 billion in 2022. So that's almost like 2x the growth over a 4-year period. 5 years is nothing in the time of a category, in the time of a brand that's challenging the status quo. We are at the very, very beginning of this story right now.
Well, yeah, tell us a bit more about Zip then. So what is it and what makes it unique versus, say, the likes of Klarna or Affirm?
Yeah, you did a great introduction. We are a leading digital financial services company. We are in the business of providing flexible and transparent payment options. Our co-founder, Larry Diamond, who is, on our board and is chairman of the US board, he co-founded Zip about 11 years ago in Australia. In the US, we are known for our Pay in 4 installment product. Our goal is to be accessible to our customers wherever they are. So right now, we have a consumer app that can be used both online and in store. Unlike other players in the market, our product is unique in that it can be used with pretty much any retailer, any company that accepts Visa. So we find that our customers are leveraging us for all kinds of behaviors and all kinds of transactions that they initially maybe reserve different credit options for, which underscores that, paying in installments is becoming a mainstream behavior. I'll talk about that more in a second. But, that's sort of one way we serve our customers. Mm-hmm. And another way we also focus on serving our customers by driving direct integrations with our top e-commerce retailers and merchants, because again, we want to be there for our customers at that point of sale, point of checkout, and we want to make it easy for them to find us where they are. So salience and distribution is super important to us, and that's how we've approached our growth over the last few years.
So how do you make money?
We have a dual revenue model depending on the channel. So we have a merchant contribution model and then a consumer contribution model where we charge our customers an origination fee per installment.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned the growth and the opportunity. I think on your website, even you talk about this like 11 trillion market opportunity. So who is your target market? And you know, how many customers do you have now? How many would you actually like ultimately?
Yeah. Look, let me maybe rewind back a second because this will help contextualize and offer some more background for the question you asked. You know, the short-term installment payment space actually started in the fashion and footwear category and was specifically targeted towards Gen Z and millennials. This is like 6 years ago. Now, COVID saw an insane adoption. COVID drove an insane adoption curve across all income groups, across all age groups, and made this quite a mainstream behavior. In fact, in 2019, apparel and footwear and beauty actually accounted for about 80% of all installment payment transactions. And you fast forward that to 2021, and these categories then only accounted for about 58%. This is data from CFPB that have looked at all the players and their transaction data. During this time, just 2019 to 2021, this behavior, this paying in installments began to be leveraged across all kinds of categories. So insurance, utilities, education, groceries. We're seeing now, as people's understanding and comprehension of this method has grown, it is becoming extremely mainstream, and they're using it just the way they leverage, credit cards or other alternative options. So, for us, and the way we look at the opportunity is, again, if you go back to the growth that's projected for this behavior, this category, and the fact that only about 77 million Americans have used installment payments as an option to date. And we know that the actual TAM is much larger, about 120 million. So we think there's a large, significant addressable market here. Our customers, as you know from our we have about 6 million customers, 24,000 merchant partners. While we have customers across all age ranges and credit score, we're having an extraordinarily positive impact on the financially underserved customers. There are a lot of misconceptions that exist about the financially underserved customers. So make no mistakes, they are economically active for sure. They just don't have access, or they are restricted in access to traditional credit options, or they're overlooked by traditional credit or financial institutions. And there, we found a unique way to serve them, and they've sort of raised their hand and opted into our ecosystem as well.
I mean, it's interesting you talk about the sort of evolution of those categories. Are there particular categories that you feel particularly strong in, or that you're particularly going after?
Going after right now for us, we tend to respond to where our customer behaviors and what our customers are hinting at. And what we are seeing very much so is, and this is, I guess, more from even if we look at, we're just sort of coming out of high interest rate environment. Inflation impact is still very much being felt by our customers, but I'd say that it's lessening. The confidence is, boosting. So this is maybe not unique to us, but we are seeing a general movement across all customer groups towards experiences, towards enjoying travel, concerts, events, sporting events. So it's natural that, we want to be where our customers are. So that is right now a big area of focus for us.
Yeah.
And auto as well. Obviously there's been a lot written about the boom in car ownership that happened post-COVID. And where we started to see our customers leveraging Zip was for auto accessories, auto repairs, things that are tangential to buying a car or owning a car that are required. So those are areas that we now are, we have really strong merchant partnerships in to make sure that our customers can find us at that point of sale.
Yeah. So we have this growing segment, Zip's growing, massive opportunity clearly ahead for companies operating in this space. I know on your mission, I've read, is about being the first payment choice everywhere and every day, which is obviously a really interesting and bold, statement. From that perspective, then, who is the competition?
Oh, that's a meaty question for a marketer.
Yes.
Look, I see all payment options as my competitors. Not just that. Look, I started my career in advertising, and I grew up in an age of advertising when it was all about content and culture. Then sort of we entered this third wave of it being content, culture, and commerce. And, guess what? Commerce cannot happen without payments. So I believe we're in that fourth and final piece of that puzzle that's clicking into place, which I believe is payments. Payments companies are becoming social networks, and social networks are becoming payment companies or payment networks. In my view, it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
My view on Zip also is, as sort of, brands are relevant when they are culture led. I think in our case, specifically with Zip, we actually help customers participate in culture. We actually enable access to culture for a huge group of audiences who would not be able to otherwise. And I see it in my transaction data. I see it, when there's a sale at Telfar, there's a spike, in Telfar on Zip, or, GameStop's launching a new game, or, MLB, season starts, or, a new TikTok trend that's selling out. Like, we see that reflected in, what our customers are using Zip with and for. So to me, I see all of this as connected.
Yes. So debit, credit, any kind of, all of the big players, you're up against everything.
Look, payment options, yes. I think that in the world of, credit, I do think we are rather unique. Our loans are much, much smaller than a traditional alternative credit card. Our average loan size to our customers is about $150, and we cycle through them pretty quickly as well. So it's over a 6-week period. So I think that we are rather unique in that. What our customers often tell us is that they leverage us as actually a cash flow management tool, something to help them manage their budget or smooth over their expenses. And I think that's actually a unique way of, where credit has played a role. So, for us, the story is still, like I said, being written. And for me right now, I compete with anyone that's out there that's, looking for a payment option. But ultimately for me, as the payment category, as short-term installment category grows, that's a win, because again, like I go back, the category itself is so nascent. It's literally 6 or 7 years old in the US. And, Zip alone, the category has been having about a 30% growth. Zip's grown at 40-45%. So, I think that we are not even close to hitting saturation right now.
So you mentioned the financially underserved, and sort of zooming out, one of the sort of criticisms of buy now, pay later has been this sort of idea that, consumers might, get stuck with some overspending. They might not know, what they're getting into with that. I mean, are there any specific measures that Zip takes to sort of try and help consumers navigate that?
Oh, yes, 100%. I mean, first, I want to emphasize that, responsible lending is part of our DNA. We may be 5 years old here in the US, but we have an 11-year history in Australia, and we're actually quite mature as an overall company. it is actually really important to understand how our product works for me to answer that question. So, a few things to highlight about our product is that we've built in safeguards into our product experience. So, for example, if a Zip user misses a payment, their account is paused. They cannot access they will not be able to access credit or use Zip to make additional purchases. And this is, unlike a credit card where if you miss a payment, you charge a late fee, but you can continue using your card. So that's number one. So this in itself, we ensure that customers are not going to go down further debt after borrowing for a purchase. Plus, we make sure that there's no compounding late fees. We offer our customers an ability to change their payment date. Sometimes what we found is, customers just want to align their repayment dates to when their paychecks come in. And, that's an easy, we saw such demand for, customers were calling into our CX team requesting that feature that we actually then built it into the product itself. We also offer advanced notifications for repayments. So I think for us, we take great, we build a product with great intention and ensuring that, everything that a credit card enables, but also what a credit card then actually, the shadow side of that, what they do, we want to make sure that, customers, especially the ones we serve, have an option that does not have the shadow sides associated with borrowing.
Yeah, we see in our research that consumers always say they want more flexibility with their financial products and sort of buy now, pay later. And then, of course, adding features like that, the ability to pay and pick your payment date and things like that are obviously very much playing into that trend.
Yeah, I'll share an interesting data point with you. And it's true, actually, for me as well. If I asked you, would you know the interest rate on all your credit cards?
No.
There's actually, the data here says only 43% of credit card holders that actually know the interest rate on their credit cards.
Sure.
Whereas, FTA, which is the Financial Technology Association, they just did a research report that said 99% of all installment payments, so buy now, pay later users, they actually understand the terms and conditions clearly and transparently. So I think, to me, the industry talks a lot about financial literacy and, financial wellness. I think this is where it starts. It's incumbent upon the players in the industry to make sure that the literacy is our problem, not our customer's problem. We have to make sure that, and this is something my CEO, Joe Heck, our new CEO, it's one of his core beliefs. It's financial literacy is our problem, not our customer's problem. And I agree with that. Yeah,
well, so it comes down to transparency, doesn't it? And so like you say, credit cards have so many things sort of perhaps a little bit behind the scenes that it makes it a little bit more confusing for consumers who won't necessarily understand all of their terms and conditions. So, let's talk about marketing. Earlier this year, you announced that the WNBA's Kelsey Plum would be joining you as a brand ambassador. That was very exciting. I'd seen this post on LinkedIn from co-founder Larry Diamond, said that Zip was stepping into a bold new phase of brand growth. It was all sort of coincided with the announcement. Maybe sort of take us behind the curtain on how you got Kelsey and, what can you tell us about the growth strategy?
Yeah, that is correct. Zip has made a number of bold marketing investments. Look, one of our values is customer first, and that is truly what is reflected in all our choices on, the kind of growth we are pursuing and the kind of partnerships we are pursuing. From our perspective, so we did announce the partnership with Kelsey Plum of WNBA. We also have announced partnerships with NASCAR. And, for us, both of these are living, alive, cultural entities that connect with both our current and future customers. So that's number one. To us, these are movements, and, with a longer shelf life than that of a TikTok trend. So for us, like, even though, as I said earlier, like, we may be 5 years old, we very much believe in being a culture-led brand, but we're very aware and of the fact that we are also a brand that enables access to culture, that allows, a customer group to participate in culture. And like I said, like, we see this in our customer behavior, in what our customers are telling us and how they use Zip. There is a deep structural need in the US for fair and transparent access to credit for everyone. And when everyone doesn't have it, that actually also disenfranchises and excludes an entire audience group from being able to participate in culture. And often these are the audiences that are creating the culture, right? So there is like a really interesting there is a really interesting sub-thread here to explore on a different conversation. But, for us, this is sort of why, Kelsey Plum and NASCAR came into being. With Kelsey Plum specifically, obviously, WNBA is unbelievable and having a moment. And Kelsey especially, we believe she's going to have a generational impact. I believe that, she is a force. She's so much more than a score. I actually think some of the best work she's doing is maybe not even as well known. She's been running this doghouse program, to raise the next generation of female athletes. She's just so passionate about women and the multitude of roles that women play. We see tremendous value alignment with her. We see tremendous value alignment in our customers, with what Kelsey represents and what they aspire for. So that was a bit of a no-brainer for us. We had our eye on her, and we got an introduction, and she loved us and we loved her. So we made it happen. Our campaign is live right now with her. She's phenomenal. And, the other thing also is, like, our customers have been using us for sports and gaming and ticketing. So that again was just a organic, continuation of the Zip story. Same thing, with NASCAR. And we are seeing, like I mentioned earlier, we had started to see our customers use us for auto-related expenses. And then you combine that with ticketing, the answers like, where are the car enthusiasts, right?
Yeah,
so
that's clever.
So for us, NASCAR is also especially interesting because it allows us to signal to both our future customers and potential merchant partners in the auto accessories space that we want to work together, that we want to serve each other. So, for us, NASCAR turned out to be the ultimate way to speak with both our prospect merchant partners and future customers. We are both a B2B and a D2C model. As I mentioned earlier, that's sort of also a revenue model. So, not that dissimilar to most marketplace companies. So, as a marketer, that definitely makes it a lot more interesting and chewy, because you want to find opportunities that are relevant to sort of both sides of the marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to Kelsey Plum, then she's obviously someone who's very passionate about having a positive impact. To what extent? I mean, it's interesting to me. Obviously, you aligned to how was she? To what did you have to sort of convince her that you were sort of aligned with her?
Yeah, I mean, the
goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with any kind of athlete or celebrity, partnership, actually not just, any kind of partnership, the core of it is, are your values aligned? And do you both actually, at the end of the day, move in the world the same way and view the world from a similar lens? And that's sort of what we found in her. She cares tremendously about not being defined by her score. Now, if you look through her history and her story, that is how the world has known her. by her score on the court, and she's so much more than the score that she is on the court. Like there is a whole there's aspects to her that from off court that are just as compelling and that make her that much more interesting, and like I said earlier, like a force to be with and to be around. And she saw that with us as well. Like, we, this is not just about marketing, but this is just who we are as a company. It's in our DNA. We call it responsible lending, but ultimately, what it is like we play to the top of our customers' intelligence. I actually learned this in improv. I did a 1 week intensive improv in my early, late 20s. And I thought improv was all about telling jokes. It's actually not. Improv is about treating your audiences as intelligent people and meeting them where they are. So, that just has been something that has stuck with me, and I've carried that with me forward in my career as a marketer as well. So our customers are unbelievably savvy. They have so many options, and the best customers we have, they know every single thing about how to leverage our product, right? So they see themselves as more than the, credit scores that they've been prescribed to.
Oh, I see.
And right. And I want our customers to know that I see them as they see themselves, as they want to be seen. So, this sort of insight was really that one that resonated with Kelsey as well. Like this notion of like, we view the world, we view our customers as they're more than their credit score. And that's been her lived experience as well, right?
Yeah.
So
great alignment there. I noticed she's very engaged. Obviously, she's part of the whole ad, the Pay As You Want campaign she's starring in the ad. Obviously, very engaged in the marketing. How's the ad campaign going?
If I tell you, I'd have to.
Are you happy with how it's going?
I'll never be happy with how it's going. I'll never be happy until my brand has, 100% awareness. But I am very pleased with the approach we took and the bets we made, and the signals that we are seeing.
Okay, how have you rolled that out?
We, at the end of the day, as a digital financial services company, we are extremely data led. So, we obviously, like, there's an art and a science. I'm sure you heard every marketer say that. For us, the art really was what I can't quantify, right? Like the story, the arc, the structure, the creative, Kelsey's presence, like all of that. That's hard to I can test it to, till the end, but that just, it is sort of what it is, right?
Yes.
But where we can exert and where we were very scientific is, okay, what are the DMAs? How are we going to actually roll out this campaign? How are we doing a test and control? What does success actually look like? What is the needle we are really trying to move? So, that's sort of, how we approached it. And, our first flight is just ending. And we are quite thrilled with, how the story is playing out right now.
Excellent. It must be quite in this, like, with all the political advertising going on. So right now, it's really hard to break through some of the noise.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely something we took under consideration in deciding, the DMAs and the markets to, make the media investment in.
Oh, that's it. Well, that's interesting. What are some of the other sort of creative approaches you take? And obviously, pretty creative with some of this stuff with NASCAR and the WNBA. Any other creative things you're trying?
The way we met was through, you spotted our test we were running in direct mail, and that's sort of how we got connected. Again, I keep going back. I'm cognizant that we are still at an early stage of our opportunity, and with relatively low awareness in the US, both for the payment, the installment payment behavior, and also for our brand. So I think for us, I am very maniacally focused right now on driving comprehension and awareness for what Zip can actually do and the problems it can solve for a very specific group of audiences. So I think with the intention with the direct mail campaign was, to see whether we could actually leverage a different channel to build this product comprehension with a group of people who would actually be eligible for the product and get them to try us. I mean, that's the beauty of direct mail, like the pre-screens and the amount of data that you have available on them, available through this channel is incredible. So, we were, our campaign, that was an experiment. We did see like above average take rates on the campaign, and we are leveraging those learnings both from a creative front, channel front, media front. In like, okay, what do we take from this creative? Where do we apply it in our existing work, in the new work? What do we take from the DMAs that we targeted? Where do we apply that? What do we take from, the customers that opted in, and how do we actually layer that with the other sort of always on, marketing that we have going on? So for us, experimentation is at the core of what we're doing. You'll see us on wherever you found the direct mail campaign. I'm sure you'll see us trying out various channels. We have in the past, and we continue to work with creators as well. We've continued to explore like newer channels. Like, we know our customers find us or hear about us on social, so we keep sort of looking for ways to find the relevant subcultures to be meaningful to and relevant to. So our experimentation is core to how we are approaching our, brand building and comprehension building work.
Yeah, I think it was we track at Comperemedia, we're tracking all the marketing, and I think that was the first pre-screen direct mail campaign that we'd ever seen for a buy now, pay later product. So it really sort of stood out. And obviously, like you say, it was a test, so it'd be interesting to see if we see it back in the mailbox again, or if anybody else tries to do some similar type of marketing. So what's next on the roadmap for Zip?
Well, it's focus is the name of the game. So continued innovation in payments, and just interesting ways that will continue to engage with our customers and communities that we serve. That's it.
All right, very good. All right, so I guess changing is sort of a bit of a pivot. So what career advice would you give to young marketers looking to get ahead in the industry today?
I thought about this quite a lot, and I thought about what advice would have been most meaningful for me at this age. I often coined this notion where we're also obsessed with climbing the ladder. I actually say focus on walking the circle instead. What I did a few years ago is I drew a circle, pizza pie. And in that, I wrote all the sub sort of disciplines within marketing that I had no experience in. And I decided that this is sort of where I was going to focus versus instead of climbing the ladder, I wanted to actually walk the circle. So I actually got exposure and experience across different aspects of marketing. And I think what it sums down into is just doing the work, right? I think that especially for young or any marketer, there's so many parts into marketing. You don't hear about, when you're hiring a CFO, you know what you're getting. When you're hiring a marketer, you actually don't know what you're getting. There is, there's someone over-indexed on performance, someone over-indexed on brand, someone comes from a background in content, someone comes from a background in data. All of that is important. And all of that, but it's an and. It's a both and, right? So it's important what you bring to the table, but it's important that you continue doing the work and learning other aspects of marketing. So I say walk the circle, do the work, learn the business, and focus on the craft. I think that it's really as simple as that, and rinse and repeat. And I think that ultimately gets you to a place where you can trust your intuition. And that's, to me, where marketers need to ultimately find their comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it sounds like good advice, and it's certainly worked for you. All right, so final question then. So, what excites you most about the future of buy now, pay later?
That I'm writing it. I'm a builder, and I have been very fortunate. Now, this is my third founder, run company. This is the third time I've reported directly to the founder. And it's incredible that we are in such a short span of time. We've matured. Bloomberg just wrote about us. I think I sent it to you. We've had some 900% growth in our share price over the course of a year. We are truly, we are inventing the future. There isn't a playbook for this. There isn't, do this and do that. We are growing. Our customers are growing. The regulatory environment is growing. We're all sort of, in this ecosystem together. And when I say that I'm a builder or I get to write the future, it comes down to having that front row seat into what our customers want. How are they leveraging us? How are they, what areas are they not being served on? And how do we play a role there? We speak with our customers. We actually invite them over, if they are in New York, once a quarter in our offices, or at the very least on Zoom, if, we're doing a customer immersion that's not sort of New York, New Jersey based. We meet with them every quarter, everyone from our, CEO all the way down to our, most like newest employees. We all, join in.
Wow.
And we speak with them. We show them, ideas that we're working on. We ask them questions. And I always ask them, like, who's influencing you? Why do you use this? Like, where are you paying your attention? What brands do you admire? It's, they tell you. They really do tell you, and they know what they want. Again, I keep reinforcing, like, playing to the top of our customers' intelligence. Our customers are just unbelievably smart and informed and educated. They have a very strong desire to do more and be more. And I think that is what I want to honor with the products that we're building, the communications that we are crafting, the experiences that we're building.
I mean, it's fascinating. It makes me. What are those customers continuing then to mature with you and continue to use Zip?
Absolutely. 5 years is a relatively short time to see through like an entire customer's like life cycle, life journey with you. But we definitely are seeing customers who started with us when they were earlier in their careers, and we've seen customers like have used us for their hair and makeup trials for their wedding, and customers who use us for buying like holiday presents for their kids, or meals, like throwing dinner parties for their family. So we absolutely are seeing how our customers are beginning to like use us more as an everyday tool, and not just for like special like purchases or discretionary purchases. Like, we are part of their daily lives, and that's that just like I take a lot of I have a lot of pride in that, and also I don't take that for granted for a second. To be part of someone's everyday life, like that is every marketer's dream.
Well, this has been brilliant. It's a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much. I mean, it's been, I can sort of sense the excitement and feel the spirit of sort of pioneering spirit at the same time as, you see, this industry, which, is not just surviving, but thriving clearly in a post-COVID credit environment, and yet still with such tremendous opportunity. And, you've got this, obviously you've got the CFPB taking steps to regulate, but all signs of an industry maturing, establishing a firm foothold, but with still such an opportunity.
Yeah. My inspiration is really like, I think it's these are once in a lifetime career opportunities where you get to build something that challenges the status quo, and we have a very mature outlook towards this, even with, to your point about how regulation is evolving, and we're actually, super, we're very much, aligned with fit for purpose regulation. We already actually follow like a lot of the financial like regulations. So I think for us, the growth and the longevity of what we are trying to build is an ecosystem's efforts, not just one company's effort. And I think you'll see a lot of just like all the different sectors coming together to write to draw out what this industry should be, and how it can continue to serve all customers.
Excellent. Well, I think that's a great way to end it. Well, thank you, Jinal.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. The conversation doesn't end here. Check out my Lightbulb Moments blog and head over to Mintel's LinkedIn and Instagram. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to know more about Mintel, visit mintel.com and sign up to become a member of the free Mintel Spotlight community. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Goodbye for now, and we'll catch you next time for a new episode of Little Conversation.